welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yoms and I go by Supremeyoms, and I am going to be talking about the 15 lessons I have learned in my 25 years of life. I'm super excited to get into this video. I'm ready to be more consistent on YouTube just because I have so much knowledge, so much life to share with you guys. I have a content calendar, so I'm going to try my best to stick to it. Before we get into it, I just want to get into my hair. My hair is kinky bundles. I have leave out as well. I'm trying to do these hairstyles that I really love. My sister does my hair. She goes by hairbyjai.c, so if you want to book with her, I will put her in the description box down below. This hair is also from her hairline that she will be releasing very soon. Make sure to let her know I sent you. If you see me looking down, it's of course because I'm looking at my notes. Yeah, these are the 15 lessons I've learned in 25 years. I'm going to be touching on all different topics, so life, love, personal growth and everything, and maybe spilling some tea. You never know. So my first point is putting God first. So one thing that I've learned is you have to put God first, whatever that means for you. So whether you're Christian, Muslim, whether you're just into spirituality, you have no denomination that you stick to or religion that you stick to, my main thing is putting God first. I believe that is a key to inner peace and outer stability. Putting God first will solve all your inner and outer world problems, I believe. Because I feel like once you focus on the things above, it will help you to focus less on your issues, on your problems, on the worldly things that are honestly temporary and honestly won't be here forever. For me, when I've encountered certain difficulties along my journey of life, I've always known that, do you know what, even if I'm not seeing the way right now, even if I'm not seeing clearly right now, I know that I have a God that sees clearly, and I know that I have a God that sees things for me, and I know that I have a God that's working everything out for my favor. I try my best to focus on that and focus on that truth. And even in all my rockiness and my ups and downs, as you can imagine, as a 25-year-old, still figuring things out. I feel like you never stop figuring things out, but obviously as you age, you become more wiser, you get more wisdom, you get more understanding. But as a young adult, honestly, putting God first has honestly helped me so much in my life. It's helped me see things clearly. Well, I can use an example. Like the other day, I literally prayed the removal prayer, which I know a lot of people are afraid to pray. The removal prayer is basically you telling God, if there's anyone or anything in my life that doesn't align to your will for me, please remove them. So I prayed the removal prayer. I was thinking, no one's left my life yet. I must have a good circle, good people around me. Lo and behold, child, God removed someone I would have never expected to leave my life, to be honest. Someone who I was actually doing business with. I don't want to get into it too much. God removed them from my life. And imagine if I continued with this person without even praying this. I'm sure God would still show the real intentions of this person along the way. But because I did that prayer, God made sure to lock off that relationship as early as possible, which I am super grateful for. Even though sometimes it is hard, but I feel like the fact that it is for your good is what carries you through. Okay, so my second thing is face your feelings. So suppression only makes problems grow. Trying to suppress the issue only makes it bigger. You need to address your feelings head on. Me addressing my feelings is something sometimes I may struggle with, only because I like to tell myself not to like overthink things or not to like look too deeply into things, when sometimes my feelings towards things are very much valid, and I should allow myself to give myself and honor my emotions. And I feel like a lot in our generation and a lot of what our parents did as well is suppress their emotions and not really address things head on and ask themselves, where is this feeling coming from? Why do you feel like that? What is the reason that you're feeling this way? And I feel like when you ask yourself these questions, let's say your feelings are maybe coming from a place of lack, or your feelings are coming from a place of insecurity. When you're able to ask yourself these questions, you're able to get to the root of the problem, which allows you to overcome these emotions. And I feel like I am really working on that as I get older. And I'm working on emotional intelligence. I'm working on, because I'm a crybaby child. I am a cry baby, like, but I have to address my emotions. Why do you feel this way? What's making you feel this way? Like, and I feel like we have to address these emotions, otherwise we're gonna keep spiraling and feeling like we shouldn't feel these ways and drowning in those emotions, and that's one thing you do not want to do. One of the major lessons I've learned in my 25 years of living is to address why I feel the way I do, what I can do about the way that I feel, and how to move forward, because otherwise I'm just suppressing it and one day I'm gonna explode. I do not want to be 40 years old still dealing with things that I went through when I was 14. Like, come on, like, let's grow up. The third point is boundaries matter. So contrary to popular belief that everyone says you are what you attract, I used to believe that as well. I do think there is a truth to that, but I also think you're not always what you attract, but you are what you accept. So let's say a guy comes into your life, he's literally, I feel like he's everything for me. But then as I start to learn more about him, I'm seeing red flags, I'm seeing things that I don't want to put up with, I'm seeing things that, you know, go against my boundaries. That is for me to set my boundaries and stick to my boundaries. I believe when you set your boundaries and then you just decide to just say it's okay, you are allowing and accepting the energy that you despise and the energy that you're going to end up one day resenting that person. I just feel like we as women especially need to set our boundaries and stand on our boundaries and say, you know what, I'm not going to put up with that if you do not do this, if you do not behave like this. If obviously, as long as it, you know, is acceptable and it makes sense, like, I believe that we should be able to express what we desire out of a relationship, out of a partnership, out of a friendship, and we should stick to those things. If you don't put your boundaries up, of course you are going to get hurt continuously and gonna keep attracting the same type of person, because it's like you're basically telling the universe, God, whatever, that that's what you want. So moving on to point number 4, a healthy relationship requires you to face yourself. This is one of my biggest points because right now I'm currently in a healthy relationship, and I would say a lot of what it's done is help me to look within and help me to look at, actually, why was I triggered by this thing? Why did this make me feel that way? Like, and I feel like when you have another person so close in your proximity, and it may not always be just a relationship, it can be in your family. Like, my sister triggers me sometimes, like my mom triggers me sometimes, my friends trigger me sometimes, and I feel like in relationships you're always going to get triggered, and I feel like healthy relationships will require you to look within yourself and require you to ask yourself, why did I react the way I did to that? And that will lead you to maybe questioning the things that you went through in the past and then finding ways to deal with those things healthily. The worst thing you want to do is just be like, do you know what? That's the way that I am. That's the way that I'm going to stay this way. I'm not going to change. Blah, 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 blah. And then you just basically have people in your life who tolerate you rather than people in your life who actually tell you the truth and actually tell you things about yourself that you need to change, and vice versa. That's the type of relationships that you want. As you grow older, you don't want people to just tolerate you and end up resenting you. Like, that is probably the worst type of relationships you want, and that's the relationships that are toxic, and that's the relationships that lead you to actually feeling quite lost, or feeling a void, or feeling like you're not really being supported in the right ways. I feel like that's what healthy relationships do. They are mirrors. They help you look within yourself. Number 5 is the impact of anxious attachment on your relationships. So anxious attachment can actually hurt your relationships a lot. I struggled with anxious attachment because of like my previous relationships being hurt, being betrayed. I feel like that can lead you to feeling like you need to always be in control, and you need to always know what this person is up to, know where this person is, know who this person's talking to, know who like go through someone's phone, all these things. And it's just like, these things are not healthy. This is an anxious attachment that you have towards someone, and we don't want those. We want healthy attachments. We want solid attachments. That's what we desire in our relationships, and that's what I believe that we deserve. Healthy attachments with people. And one thing that's helped me kind of deal with my anxious attachments that I have in my relationships is basically just facing it and just being like, do you know what, let me practice detachment. Because I feel like when you practice detaching yourself from someone, not in a toxic way, in a way like, oh, I'm not going to talk to you anymore because I'm feeling like I can't do without you and da-da-da-da. No, in a way where actually, even if you're not calling me, let me take some time to pour that into myself. Let me read a book. Let me go on a walk. Let me go to the park. Let me focus on myself. Let me direct that inside. And I saw a quote and it said that if you are thinking about someone too much, you are clearly not busy enough. And it's true. Like, it's okay to think about someone. It's okay to want someone to call you. And it's okay to want someone to check up on you. And it's okay to want all these things. But I just feel like when you get to that obsessive stage in your life, in a relationship with someone where you're just obsessed with checking your phone, checking if they text you and monitoring the time that you last spoke and all these things, it can become toxic and it can not become an enjoyable relationship for you anymore. And it's not going to change. It doesn't matter who you're with. It's about you, and it's about the internal work that you do to be able to have better attachments with people. And as I said, these anxious attachments, you have to go back to where they come from. You have to come back to the triggers of how it started. Maybe it was in your childhood. Your parents, they left you in a state where you were always waiting for things, where you didn't feel like your needs were met. You really need to work on looking within. Number 6, let go of the past. Old keys won't open new doors. You must let go of your past to enter the next stages in your life. I always used to say, I want a better body, I want this, I want that, I want clearer skin, I want to feel better about myself, I want to feel good within, I want better gut health, I want this, I want that. But these things aren't going to come without you making the first step to doing the work to get what you want. It's not going to come. Like, I can have goals, like, I want a better business. I set out a goal. I said, for my parties, I want a different audience. I want more audiences from different places. I want us to reach different people. And I set out a strategic plan to make that happen. And it did happen. So it's really about you setting out your plan, setting out your goals of what you want to do, how you want to get there. So if I say I want a better body, where am I? I'm in the gym. I'm clocking in first thing in the morning. Yeah, it's probably going to be hard. It's really all about the mindset more than anything. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to wake up. Like, I don't want to go to the gym. Like, but then I'm thinking, shit, if I don't wake up, but if I don't go to the gym, where's my mental health going to be when I look at my body and I'm not happy with it? Who am I going to have to blame? Myself. That's the only person I have to blame. You need to start moving different to be able to get different. That's a really big one. And all of these points are honestly easier said than done, but they can be done. And that's the biggest thing. Take time with yourself. Like, every day is a challenge. Like, don't be hard on yourself. If you miss a gym day, don't beat yourself up about it. Still have in the back of your mind that you should have went, because you should have gone, but use that as a fuel for the next day to go. Number 7 is self-love is essential. Self-love is the answer. As you get older, you must become more intentional with your routines, your rituals, as the world will continue to attack your sense of self. Honestly, being on social media, like, I literally run a company which is mainly on social media, so I spend most of my time on my phone is on social media, because I'm consistently posting, I'm consistently paying attention to trends, paying attention to what's going on, keeping up to date with things, scrolling on Pinterest, etc, etc, and that can lead me into seeing different things. As I said about my body, like, I want to get fitter. I want a smaller waist. I want a bigger bum. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, obviously, when I'm seeing these things every single day projected to me, it can eat subconsciously at my self-esteem. As a lady, especially in today's society, to maintain rituals and routines to keep yourself in a good mindset, in a good mental health state. For example, every day I make sure to take my vitamins. Every other day I journal my emotions, I journal how I'm feeling. And journaling is so important, because sometimes we can just be in a never-ending cycle of thinking things, and then sometimes you just feel like, I don't want to talk about it with my friends. I don't want to talk about it with my boyfriend. I don't want to talk about it with my mom. I don't want to talk about it with my siblings. Like, I want to talk about it to myself. I want to talk about it to God, the only one who actually knows truly how you feel and knows your intentions and knows your heart. That's who you want to talk about it with. Sometimes I'll just journal, get my emotions out, and I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. We're living in a time where there's the new thing every single day. You go on TikTok and you're seeing people do 20-step skincare routines. Like, not to bash anyone who does that, because if that's genuinely what you want to do, then go ahead and do that. But the pressure is getting worse every single day. Like, when I was younger, we could go to school, no makeup, braids. Like, nowadays, people have to wear wigs and full face of makeup, and it's like, bloody hell, like, where is the chance and the time for a young woman to actually learn herself and actually fall in love with herself and actually realize that she doesn't need all these extra things outside of herself to be complete? And I feel like we definitely need to give ourselves that love, shower ourselves with that love. Number 8 is authenticity attracts true connections. Your journey is yours. You owe no one an explanation for your personal choices, even if others don't understand. Being authentic is the best thing you can do. You attract genuine relationships and people who love you for you, not for who you pretend to be. Ever since I was young, honestly, I've always been my authentic self. Regardless of who had something to say, like, I feel like I've always kind of lived as my authentic self and like been very proud of who I am, very confident in myself. You know that video when someone asked Rihanna, if you're not as confident, what should you do? And she was like, fake it. And it's true, like, it actually works sometimes when you just like fake that confidence and you just say the things that you wish were true in your mind, because one day you'll eventually believe that. Your mind wants to believe these things anyway, so you might as well just pretend, and you might as well just be like, okay, this is me, like, this is who I am. I believe that I'm, you know, the best girl in the world, and every girl should believe that she's the best girl in the world. Like, I believe that I'm the best girl in the world. I believe that, you know, I have the best business in the world. I have this, I have that. Like, you should feel that confidence, and that confidence doesn't come overnight. I was born with confidence, but even so, like, my confidence still gets attacked because I am a human being. One thing that I would really advise is like self-love affirmations. You have to say what you want. You have to do what you want. You have to be who you want, because you don't want to wake up one day and look around you and all the people you have around you are yes men and people who don't really like themselves, don't really like you, but you guys are just doing image together, or friends because of what you've got, not because of who you are. Stay authentic and be yourself unapologetically, and those who are for you will stay and those who are not for you will leave. Number 9, the truth about business with friends. So business with friends is not easy at all. It can be extremely fun, but I believe that ego can't exist. As you get older, you may meet some people in your life that want to do business, that have the same drive as you, that have the same goal as you, and the Bible does say like 2 is better than 1. Certain projects, you know, you may want to do with a friend, but I will be the one to say that it's not easy. Sometimes you can even run into a place where you're butting heads with that person, but the only thing that helps you get through that is putting your ego aside and just being like, you know what, before we did business we were friends, so let's remember that and let's keep that at the forefront of our business relationship, even when we disagree, because in friendship you're going to disagree too. Make sure you keep the friendship at the forefront of what you guys are doing, because that's the most important thing. This is the thing, like, as a human being, you can only treat people how you treat yourself. So if you treat yourself with that ego, you look down on yourself, you have that shame, you have that guilt, you have a very low vibrational way of living, you're going to give that out to the world. So when I was in a stage where I had negative thoughts in my mind and I didn't want to talk to my friends, I was just kind of in a very dark space, I wasn't able to be a friend. Naturally, I am a good person, which I thank God for. The watering you do for yourself, it will help your outward relationships. Number 10 is accept help. The power of letting others in. Welcome help into your life, especially as an independent woman or an independent person. You may want to do everything yourself, but you can miss out on the helpers that God has sent for you. I feel like when I turned 25, you know when they say that the prefrontal lobe develops or whatever, when I turned 25, I'm telling you, like, God softened my heart. God softened my heart all over again. I don't want to be so walls up and everything, don't allow anyone in, think everyone's against me, blah 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 blah. Like, I don't want to be that person. Like, I want to be the person who accepts help with open arms. I want to be that person who listens to criticisms and doesn't get offended. I want to be that person who allows other people to help me, because that's what's going to take me higher. That's what's going to push me up in my life. Even in school, like, we were taught teamwork makes the dream work. Not to be cliche, but it's very true. Having people help you, having people support you is a really good thing, and it can take you to the next level of life. But number 11 is the only limitations you have are the ones you create for yourself. So you are basically your only barrier. If you say that you can't do something, you can't do it. It doesn't matter who comes and tells you you can do it, you can do it. If you have convinced yourself that you cannot do something, that's it. You can't do it. That's why it is so important to tell yourself that you can do anything you put your mind to. You should be able to have faith in yourself and believe in yourself, because that is what's going to take you to the next level. You telling yourself that you can't do something is holding yourself back. Like, if you want to start a business and you're telling yourself, oh, it's going to take so long for me to get customers, it's going to take so long for me to do this, do that, or you want to go back to school and you're like, oh, I should have gone back to school years ago. There's a tweet that says the 5 years is still gonna go. So you might as well use those 5 years doing something that you actually genuinely want to do, and stop allowing those limitations that you have imposed on yourself. It doesn't really matter what other people say. It's truly about what you think and what you want for yourself. And number 12 is let love in. This is so important. Like, allow yourself to be loved fully by other people. Allow people to love you. Become love. Like, our creator is love. Our creator has made us from him. So we are love. And if we are not tapped in to that energy of love, and if we are not learning about love, and if we are not expressing love, being love, and accepting love, like, we are defying this exact reason why our creator made us. All the religions, the main message that is preached is love. Love for ourselves and love for others. Treat others how you want to be treated. Golden rule. And we want to be treated with love. We want to treat ourselves with love. It's allowed me to have so much fruitful relationships. And not saying that all my relationships are perfect, because there are obviously still times where we don't feel loved, where we don't feel like our needs are met, where we don't feel like this person's showing up for us, or vice versa. But the main thing is to be loved. I just love love. I love love. I love seeing people in love. I love being in love. I love loving others. I love when people love me. I love when people show me that they love me, show me that they care for me. I think that's so important, and I'm so grateful to have people like that around me. 13. People love to their own depths. People can only love you as deeply as they love themselves. They can't love you deeper. That's something that is a hard pill to swallow, because sometimes we want someone to love us in a certain way. We're like, why don't you love me? Like, why don't you love me like this? Why don't you love me the way that I want to be loved? You have to realize that people can only express love to you the way that they love themselves. And it's kind of piggybacking off of the last point about spreading love. Get deep in it. Do you know what I mean? So you're able to love someone deeply as well, who loves deeply too. Really attract these really beautiful relationships to yourself. You can't teach people how to love themselves deeply. That's a lesson that they need to learn themselves. You can only sow some seeds, but at the end of the day, everyone's journey in life is a personal journey, and we just have to accept that. 14. Money can buy happiness, but it cannot fill a void that only God can fill. When people say, like, money doesn't buy happiness, I don't agree with that. Like, I feel like money can solve most of, like, the world's issues. Coming from a working class family, like, obviously I am destined to be a millionaire. Like, that's something that my mum prayed over me, like, ever since I was a kid. So that is in my destiny. At the end of the day, like, when I do become rich, it is gonna solve a lot of things, and I'm pretty sure it is gonna make my mum feel amazing, and it's gonna make my mum feel so happy, and it's gonna make the people around me feel amazing as well, because I will be able to solve their problems, and I'll be able to solve a lot of things that they may experience. So I believe that money definitely can buy happiness, but it can't buy joy. It can't buy something that is, you know, everlasting, like, because we're still going to experience things like rich people are committing suicide every single day. There will be a void in us if we do not fill that with the creator, with God, with the higher power, like whatever that is for you. Because honestly, like, as I've grown older, I've just realized, like, everyone's on their own journey and on their own path. Like, for some people that may be Christianity, for some people that may be Islam, for some people that may be Buddhism, for some people that may be just spirituality. Like, I feel like you should still be in touch with the spiritual realm, because at the end of the day, this world is spiritual. If you choose to be an atheist, it's completely up to you. It is really important to be in touch with your spiritual self, because it is a spiritual world, and you want to make sure that you are protected, and you want to make sure that you are in alignment with the purpose that the creator has for you. Money cannot fill the void that you have within you. Only your creator can do that. So that's something you definitely need to consider and definitely get in touch with. So if you're working so hard, but you're not working on your mental health, you're not working the things that you're going through, and you're not working on, you know, the actual important things that matter, money is not going to sustain the good feelings in your life. It will only be a temporary fix. And last but not least is be your own hero. So no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. This one is kind of a hard pill to swallow, because sometimes you just want to, you want to think that, okay, if I get in a healthy relationship, this is going to make me feel better. This is going to make me feel complete. If my family is all unified, this is going to make me feel better. This is going to make me feel complete. But no, this is not true. You need to do the inner work. You need to do the inner things. You need to work on yourself. If you need to go to therapy, you've got to go to therapy. It's so important to really do that inner work and really save yourself initially, and not wait on a knight in shining armor to come and take all your problems away, because that's never going to happen. You will be waiting until the day you die. The people who are happy on their deathbeds are really the people who chose themselves, did things for themselves, made sure to put themselves first, good community around them, to really curate a life that they love. That is the exact thing that we need to do for ourselves, especially as we get older. I always tell myself, I want to make great decisions now, so when I'm older, I don't have to basically suffer from the decisions I made as a young adult. I mean, I'm gonna make mistakes, don't get me wrong, but I want to make more good decisions than bad ones. That really rounds it up. I hope that these points helped you, and I hope that these points were a blessing to your life. I can't wait to make more videos. I have so much knowledge. I have honestly been through a lot in my life, I would say, and a lot of things have really tested me and taught me, and I've learned so much from the things that I went through. And yeah, I'm super grateful, and I wouldn't trade my life for the world. I hope to see you in my next video, and I hope you have an amazing week ahead. Please make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. Bye bye. Mwah.